Hello and welcome. You're watching the 21st episode of our consumer education series, Nivesh Kar Befika, presented to you by PolicyBazaar.com. And I'm Apeksha Mishra. COVID 19 has killed millions around the world, but for some of us who've been lucky to have survived the virus, the nightmare is not over. As post COVID effects and cases of fungal infection are on the rise, people are wondering if the health insurance policies will cover for treatment for these after effects. To help you understand whether health insurance policies will cover for post-COVID complications or not, we have with us today our expert Amit Chhabra, Head of Health Insurance Business at PolicyBazaar.com. So let's start deep dive into the session directly by explaining to our viewers a bit on how a regular comprehensive plan can take care of all illnesses, including post-COVID complications.
So for a comprehensive plan, it covers for post-COVID complications. It could mean it covers for a heart problem that may arise because of COVID. It could mean that it covers for black fungus or different. There are other variants of that as well, which are floating around. So anything that happens to you, you get covered for hospitalization through your health insurance policies. That's as simple as that. It may have happened because of COVID, may not have happened because of COVID. Does not really matter. If you have got something which affects your health, you are covered by health insurance. It's as simple as that.
But coming to the second scenario, Amit, here, if an existing policy, if someone has a policy, all the limits are exhausted due to COVID-19 claims, and the bills also are on a higher end. What are the options there before the policyholder?
If you've already had hospitalization, you or the family, somebody has had hospitalization, then it does get a bit tricky, and it will get difficult to get coverage in that case. That will be a problem, but again, that's something that one can't do much about, to be honest. Once your policy has used up all the sum insured, then it will only be available next year. However, there's one thing here which I like to stress on. A lot of policies come with a benefit called restoration. It's called by different names in different policies. It's called restoration, and some call it recharge, some call it refill. But it essentially means the same thing. It basically means that in case your sum insured has been exhausted, it again recharges itself and becomes available for use within the same policy year as well. There are different terms and conditions in different policies, but again, so that's one thing that you might want to look at, because you might be surprised. You might think that your sum insured is over, but actually it might not be. Also, a lot of policies most policies in fact come with a no claim bonus as well. Again, one of those things which where you get extra sum insured. So again, you might think that your sum insured is exhausted, but it's actually not. So just for an example, if let's say I have a policy of 10 lakhs and I'm in the third year of my policy, then this 10 lakhs would have become about 14 lakhs already. And in some policies, it would have become almost 20 lakhs by now. So you actually may have more sum insured than there is, than you think there is. So that's something that can help you. Otherwise, I think the general advice to all the listeners, viewers is always try to buy a high sum insured policy as much as you can, because COVID and hospitalization is something which is very common. So and it does not cost you a lot to move from a 5 lakh or a 10 lakh sum insured to a 1 crore sum insured. It will cost you about 10-15% extra only, so it's not a lot, but it gives you 20 times higher sum insured from 5 lakhs. So it's always advised to buy a high sum insured policy. If you have bought it, great. If you haven't bought it till now, you can actually upgrade at any point of time, any point during the year as well. So use that as an option to enhance your sum insured.
Absolutely.
I think one important part that that's very, very relevant is what is covered when it comes to COVID, or what is covered when it comes to COVID complications also, or anything for that matter, right? So there are I think two parts specifically which must be talked about. The first one is consumable items. So typically, consumable items are the kind of items which get used up during the treatment of COVID. So, like for example, PPE kits that doctors have to wear, masks, gloves, sanitization. So, all of that is basically consumable items which gets used up in the treatment of COVID now or its complications. Now, typically the share of consumable items in the overall medical bill at a hospital used to be 2 to 3%. However, in the last 1 year, this number has now become almost 20%. Now, why is that happening? Because everybody has to wear PPE kits. Sanitization protocols have to be followed. Every instrument, machine, equipment in a hospital has to be sanitized repeatedly after every use because we don't want a spread of infection. So in all of these cases, the cost of consumable items go up. Now, there are two types of policies that one can buy. There are policies which cover for consumables also, and then there are policies which don't cover for consumable items. Now, historically, about a year or so back, consumable items were never covered in health insurance. But now there are policies which cover for consumable items also. So one must look to get those kind of policies which cover for consumable items because they are a fairly large chunk of the medical bills now. I think that's one. The other thing is home care treatment as well. Some policies cover for home care treatment for COVID as well. So make sure that you have a policy which covers for home care treatment because hospital beds may not be available, in case a large wave happens, like what happened recently in India. I think these are two important points or terms and conditions that one must look at when they're looking to buy or renew their health insurance policy.
Absolutely. My next question was on consumables, but you've already covered it. So we'll hop on to the question asked by Mr. Ranjan. He's basically wanting to understand, Amit, what are the cases in which a claim can get rejected by the insurance company? Because there are a lot of stories around claims getting rejected left, right, center. So he wants to understand where is it that it becomes difficult for an insurer to pay out?
Sure. So there are actually only two ways where a claim can ever be rejected. If you have a health insurance policy, only two ways. And we say that a lot of times. The only way a claim can be rejected is if one gives an option to the insurance company to reject it. Now there are two ways, right? As I said, the first way is if the claim wasn't eligible, if you weren't eligible for that claim. Now typically, why will that happen? You won't be eligible if you were serving a waiting period. Like let's say there is a 30-day waiting period for COVID in your health insurance policy, and you want to claim it after 5 days. Then of course it will get rejected because there was a 30-day waiting period and you are trying to claim it before the waiting period. So that's one example, where you weren't eligible for a COVID claim, it will get rejected. Secondly, let's say if you're going for an OPD treatment, you're not really getting hospitalized and you're going for an OPD treatment, but your health insurance policy does not give you coverage for OPD benefits. Again, one of the ways where a claim will get rejected because your policy is not supposed to cover your OPD treatments, but you're trying to claim for it. So again, you weren't eligible for it. There are more examples. Let's say if you're going for a treatment in a hospital, and your policy allows for a room up to 5,000 rupees per night, whereas you're going for a room which is 10,000 rupees per night, then in that case only 5,000 will be paid, the rest 5,000 will not be paid. So there will be a partial deduction that will happen in your billing. So if one has to just make sure that you know the terms and conditions of the policy well enough, once you know that, there is no way that a claim can get rejected. There is one last way which I like to stress on because I think that's important for everybody's understanding. There can also be a way that there can also be a reason where a claim gets rejected if hospitalization wasn't justified. Like I'll give you an example over here. If your treatment doctor who's admitting you into a hospital, clearly mentions and says that hospitalization was required for you, then that claim can never be rejected. However, there have been instances in the past, and they are mostly fraudulent in nature. Does not really happen to genuine health insurance policyholders, where there was no need for hospitalization, but through some syndicate they got admitted into a hospital and then they claimed. So that's the only other way, and that's the second part basically where a fraud is happening, where either you never got admitted to a hospital, you just made fake bills and you were trying to get those reimbursed, or the second way is where basically you weren't really hospitalized, but you are claiming to be hospitalized. So either it's a fraud issue, which won't happen with a genuine customer ever, or it is an issue with it's an issue where you weren't eligible for that claim because either a waiting period was there or your policy does not give you that benefit, but you're trying to claim for it. They are the only two reasons why a claim can ever get rejected. There is no third way. And the good thing is, In India, both the regulator, the ombudsman, and the insurance companies, have been very, very customer friendly, and there are lots of options. So in case your claim gets rejected and you think that you are, and you think that that your claim has been unfairly rejected, you have lots of options. You can go to the regulator and complain. They are very proactive. They respond immediately, and then we have seen in cases where there was, if ever there was an unfair rejection, those cases have been solved as well. Second is an ombudsman that you can go to who can fight the battle on your behalf. You can also go to your distributor. Like if you bought from Policybazaar, almost on a daily basis, we get a lot of cases where we negotiate with the insurer. We make sure that a rightful claim is settled and the rightful amount is settled. So multiple options that one has, and honestly, as I said earlier, the only way that a claim can get rejected is if the customer gives the insurance company a chance to reject the claim. If there's no chance, then a claim cannot just be rejected at all.
Moving on from claims, Amit, when I come talking about policies, health policies, now there are a lot of policies. There are high sum insured policies, there were COVID-specific policies introduced, and several policies in the market. For a layperson, how does one go about choosing a regular a health plan? Because we've got many questions on whether to choose between a COVID or a regular health plan, or to use it as a top-up, or how do we go about it?
Buying a separate COVID policy may not, according to me, may not be a very prudent thing to do, because a separate policy will cover only for COVID. It will not cover for the complications. So in that case, it does get a bit complex as well and it may not be the right thing. I think the right thing for anybody to do is to buy a comprehensive health insurance policy that covers for everything, in one go. It covers for consumables, it covers for home care, it covers for COVID. Basically it covers everything. That is what one must look at when it comes to buying a health insurance policy. There are 2-3 things to look at. The first thing to look at is sum insured. As I was saying earlier, buying a high sum insured policy is very, very important in the current times. Specifically more so because, if you are with a family, then in case COVID impacts one of them, it impacts the entire family, and the medical bills can rack up fairly fast. And I don't think anybody would ever want to compromise on the healthcare standards where you're going for treatment. Everybody will want to go to the best hospital, in the country. So there, what you need to look at is get a high sum insured policy, and then you get access to the best of the hospitals. You can go to a Fortis, a Medanta, a Max Hospital. You don't have to worry about the treatment costs because it's taken care of by the insurer. That's one. Second thing that you must look at is the choice of the insurance company that you make. You have, like, Policybazaar has about 25 insurance companies from where you can buy insurance. Now, the trick is how to choose which insurance company to go for. There are 2 metrics which one can look at, very quantitative metrics that one can look at. First is to look at the claim settlement ratio of every company. The higher the claim settlement ratio, the better it is. So that's one metric to look at. The second metric to look at is the cashless network hospital. Claim settlement ratio means of 100 claims that were submitted to the insurance company, how many were settled. So higher the claim settlement ratio, better it is. Second is the cashless network hospital. This may not be a very large decision criteria in large cities like Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore and all. But outside the top cities, you must want to ensure that whichever hospital that you would want to go to, that is covered in your health insurance policy as cashless, because you would not want to be paying from your own pocket and then reimbursing the bill. It's always better to pay cash to basically get a cashless treatment done, because then you and your family can be rest assured that there's nothing that you have to do from an effort perspective at the hospital. So that's second, choosing which insurer to buy. Third thing is, if you have any specific requirements, like for example, there are people who want maternity coverage. If you are going the family way at some point, then you might want to buy a policy which covers for maternity treatment also. Some people want OPD coverage as well. There are lots of wellness benefits that come with health insurance policies. So these are all features in a policy which you might also want to look at when you're deciding which health insurance policy to buy. The fourth thing, and I think this is important from a COVID perspective, we just discussed this earlier as well, is to get a policy which covers for consumable items also. I think that is very, very critical in the current times. And second, try to buy a policy which gives you home care treatment also, because again, from a COVID specific point, it becomes very relevant. I think these are the 4 things that one must look at while they're buying a health insurance policy.
Absolutely. And following to what you said, Amit, we have a question from Bush. He's asking for suggestions in terms of names of plans, a combination of a base plan and a super topper plan, which gives him a holistic protection cover. So if you would want to name a few plans here.
Sure, there are multiple options. You can go for there's a plan by Care Health called Care. The plan's name is also Care. That's one very good plan that you can go for. It's fairly comprehensive and gives you a lot of benefits. It's fairly affordable as well. So that is one option. You could also go for Max Bupa. They have a plan called 1 crore Super Saver, which gives you a 1 crore sum insured at a very affordable price. There is a similar plan by Aditya Birla Health also, which gives you a 1 crore sum insured. And then there are plans by Star Health as well. So there's a plan called Young Star, which is specifically targeted towards people below the age of 40 years. And then there's a plan called Comprehensive, which is targeted towards everybody. So multiple options. Once one gets into knowing your exact requirements, your budget, your where you are, which city you are in, etc. Then one can suggest in more detail. But yeah, these are some of the options that one could look at. Also, if you have a pre-existing disease like diabetes or hypertension, then also recommendations do change. So again, that can be looked at.
Absolutely. Or so we have many options. It's depending from case to case, and as per your situation, you can go through the terms and conditions and go for the plan. हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं अभिनव सिंह जी. The question that he has shared, he's trying to say that his claim got rejected and that was for a COVID domiciliary treatment. अभिनव जी, अगर आप बता सके कि क्या किस वजह से रिजेक्ट हुआ, then maybe we can take up the discussion. But Amit, from your side, if you want to throw some light, what would have gone wrong? Because he's saying that his claim got rejected for COVID domiciliary treatment and home care treatment.
So again, we'll have to know more. We'll have to know more कि आपकी पॉलिसी कौन सी है, उसमें डोमिसिलरी ट्रीटमेंट में कोविड कवर होता है कि नहीं होता है. आई थिंक दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू नो, बिकॉज डोमिसिलरी में देयर आर सम कंपनीज व्हिच प्रोवाइड कवरेज फॉर कोविड, सम डोंट. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू नो. दैट्स पार्ट 1. टिपिकली आई थिंक एक जो यहाँ पे मैं बोलना चाहूंगा, एक जो गैप होता है इंफॉर्मेशन में, वो ये है. तो डोमिसिलरी ट्रीटमेंट का मतलब ये है कि आपको हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन की जरूरत थी, लेकिन आपको बेड नहीं मिला, इसलिए आपने घर में ट्रीटमेंट कराया. ये इंपॉर्टेंट है समझना. अगर लेट्स से आपको सिर्फ होम आइसोलेशन के लिए बोला गया था, इसका मतलब ये है कि आपको बेसिकली हॉस्पिटल की जरूरत नहीं थी, आपको आइसोलेशन की जरूरत थी. घर पे आपका आइसोलेशन करना था सिर्फ, ताकि आपसे किसी और को स्प्रेड ना हो जाए. तो उस केस में उस केस में डोमिसिलरी कवर नहीं होता है. डोमिसिलरी का मतलब है कि हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन की जरूरत थी लेकिन बेड अवेलेबल नहीं था. अब आई थिंक इसमें जो इम्पोर्टेंट नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आता है वो ये आता है कि हाउ डू यू जस्टिफाई कि हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन की जरूरत थी. तो उसमें बेसिक वाइटल पैरामीटर्स देखे जाते हैं, जैसे कि कोविड में SpO2 लेवल्स देखे जाते हैं, आपका इन्फेक्शन लेवल, CT स्कोर क्या है, डी डाइमर रिपोर्ट कैसे आए. उसके बेसिस पे डॉक्टर का इसमें जो एंड इसका जो मेन डिसीजन रहता है वो डॉक्टर का रहता है, जो आपका ट्रीटमेंट डॉक्टर है. अगर आपका ट्रीटमेंट डॉक्टर कह रहा है कि हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन की जरूरत थी तो थी, उसके बाद कोई इंश्योरेंस कंपनी वो क्लेम रिजेक्ट नहीं कर सकती है. लेकिन अगर आपका डॉक्टर कह रहा है कि होम आइसोलेशन की जरूरत है और हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन की जरूरत नहीं है, तो वो हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस के दायरे में नहीं आता है, कवर नहीं होता है. देखिए, हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन के लिए होता है. जो OPD कवरेज है वो अलग होती है, बट हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन के लिए होता है. डोमिसिलरी ट्रीटमेंट हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन अगर नहीं हो पा रहा है तो वहां पे काम आता है, लेकिन हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन की जरूरत होना बहुत जरूरी है, वो एक प्राइमरी रिक्वायरमेंट है.
Also, there are some specific plans which cover for COVID home treatment, so one should be aware of the terms and conditions.
Sure, बिल्कुल. जैसे कि मैक्स बुपा के जितने प्लान्स हैं उनमें डोमिसिलरी फॉर कोविड कवर होता है. अगेन सेम चीज यहाँ पे भी लगेगी कि बेसिकली आपको हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन की जरूरत होनी चाहिए, लेकिन आप घर पे हैं क्योंकि हॉस्पिटल में बेड अवेलेबल नहीं है. तो उस केस में केयर हेल्थ के प्लान्स में, मैक्स बुपा के प्लान्स में, और डिजिट जनरल इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के प्लान्स में, इन तीनों प्लान्स में हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन एट होम कवर होता है. इट इज हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन एट होम. इसका मतलब क्या है कि आपको हॉस्पिटल की जरूरत थी लेकिन बेड अवेलेबल नहीं था, इसलिए आपका ट्रीटमेंट घर पे हुआ।
एब्सोल्युटली। तो ये सब टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस जानना बहुत जरूरी है बिफोर blaming anyone for your claim rejection. Moving on to our next question, Amit, from Veena Garg. It's a valid question and many have asked this earlier as well. If treated in a government hospital, then will the policy be covered pre-post of COVID treatment expenses?
अगर आपका ट्रीटमेंट एक गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में हुआ है, I'm assuming वहाँ कुछ बिल नहीं, बेसिकली वहाँ पे आपका कॉस्ट ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट इज ऑल कवर्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट बेसिकली, तो आपका कुछ बिल जनरेट नहीं हुआ, आपका कोई क्लेम, अगर आपने क्लेम नहीं करा है तो प्री पोस्ट भी आपको क्लेम नहीं मिलेगा, बिकॉज जो प्री एंड पोस्ट हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन होता है दैट हैज टू बी लिंक टू अ सर्टेन क्लेम। बेसिकली मान लीजिए आपका जो मेन इवेंट है दैट इज द क्लेम दैट इज द हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन क्लेम दैट वाज देयर। उसके पहले और उसके आगे जो खर्चा हुआ है वो आपको मिलता है, बट उसके लिए एक मेन क्लेम होना चाहिए। अगर आपका मेन क्लेम नहीं है तो प्री और पोस्ट में कवरेज नहीं मिलता है फिर, बिकॉज जो मेन आपका जो हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी है वो मेन क्लेम के लिए है, जो कि आपका हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन का क्लेम है। अब अगर आप गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में आपका ट्रीटमेंट हुआ है और वहाँ पे बेसिकली कुछ बिल जनरेट नहीं हुआ है, मोस्टली गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल्स में भी बिल्स जनरेट होते हैं, अमाउंट बहुत कम होता है, बट गवर्नमेंट अगर वहाँ पे बिल जनरेट हुआ है और आपने क्लेम करा है देन कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आप क्लेम कर सकते हैं प्री एंड पोस्ट के लिए भी। और उसमें टिपिकली प्री और पोस्ट में क्लियरली नंबर ऑफ डेज भी स्पेसिफाइड होते हैं, और जैसे कि इट वेरीज ऑल्सो, इन सम केसेस 30 डेज प्री एंड 60 डेज पोस्ट तक आपको कवरेज मिलता है। इन सम बेटर पॉलिसीज आपको 90-180 भी मिलता है, मतलब 3 महीना पहले और 6 महीना बाद का कवरेज मिलता है प्री एंड पोस्ट हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन का। नाउ द अदर क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट इज कवर्ड इन प्री एंड पोस्ट हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन। तो बेसिकली आपका जितना भी, अगर कोई मेडिकल टेस्ट अगर डॉक्टर ने प्रिस्क्राइब करा है, मेडिसिन प्रिस्क्राइब करी हैं, कोई फॉलो अप विजिट्स प्रिस्क्राइब करे हैं जिसके लिए कि आपको दोबारा डॉक्टर के पास जाना होगा, वो सब इसमें कवर होता है।
एब्सोल्युटली। तो काफी सारे केसेस हैं, तो व्हाट आई वांट टू आस्क यू अमित इज कि एक ले पर्सन को जिसको ज्यादा पता नहीं है, मे बी ही इज गॉन थ्रू द टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस, बट स्टिल देयर आर मेनी क्लॉजेस, राइट? So sometimes you miss out on them. So as Policy Bazaar, how can we assist them and how are we assisting them, so that they don't leave out on any small details? Because there are some questions here as to why what is the benefit of buying from Policy Bazaar versus an insurer. So not just for that, but in general, हम इस जर्नी में कस्टमर्स को कैसे असिस्ट कर सकते हैं ताकि they don't leave out on any small detail, date or anything.
Sure. See, there are a few things where how we help. One at the time of buying the policy, we try and be as clear as possible on what is covered in your policy, what is not covered. So that's at the buying part. Apart from that, when you buy a policy from Policy Bazaar, every customer gets a relationship manager. This relationship manager basically is your one single point of contact for anything to do with your health insurance policy. It could be claim, it could be renewal, it could be endorsement, it could be anything. You will get a phone number, you will get a WhatsApp message, you will get all of those details which can basically help you help you decide, help you reach out to one person for anything. You don't have to go to an IVR, you directly call a person's number and that person will respond. That's part one. The second part is we also provide on-ground claim support in about 50 cities now. We've started this recently and we've expanded it to 50 cities now. What this means is, if you have any problem at the time of claim, our representative will come to you wherever you are. You might be at a hospital, you might be at your home, and we will help you with your claim. It could be around filling forms, it could be around standing in a queue on your behalf. That person is your friend and he will help you at the time of claim at a hospital. Hospital claims can get a bit intimidating. There is a process, you have to go to different places, you have to get signatures. So वो confusing होता है, intimidating होता है, उस टाइम पे आप परेशान होते हैं. So that's, you really don't want to be troubled at that point by anybody. So that's where the on ground claim support team helps, because they will take care of everything on your behalf, and there is nothing that you will have to do. Everything will be taken care of by them. That's the second point. The third thing is, when you buy a policy from Policy Bazaar, there is a process called the Claims Green Channel, which you get access to. Green Channel basically means a simple, easy process so that if ever there is any issue in your claim, Policybazaar will be there to help you. So we will notify you at every stage that this is the status of your claim, this is where your claim has reached, and this is where we are. In case there is any mismatch, let's say you're not happy with the insurer's decision, we will fight on your behalf. Almost on a daily basis, we negotiate with insurers, we discuss with insurers, and we fight on our customers' behalf with insurance companies and get claims approved also. Almost on a daily basis, there are claims which get approved. So that is also something that happens, very, very frequently. So what you can be assured of is that Policybazaar is on your side. We will fight for your claim and we'll ensure that you get your claim. That's something that we always work towards and we'll ensure.
We have one very good question, Amit, from a viewer. His name is Ashwin Sasidharan. He says, can one top up the Corona Kavach policy and get other illnesses covered?
So let's say if you have a Corona Kavach, what you can do is you can migrate your Corona Kavach to a comprehensive health insurance policy. What that basically means is that, so let me take an example. Let's say you have a 5 lakh rupees Corona Kavach policy from Max Bupa. Now what you can do when the policy is about to expire is there's an option to renew it. The other option is you can move from Corona Kavach to a comprehensive health insurance policy. There will be no fresh waiting periods. They will all be served. They're already served because you're holding a policy. So your COVID and everything will be covered from day one itself. So you can do that. The other option is to buy a top-up instead of a comprehensive policy. You can do that too. The only disadvantage there that I see is if you're buying a top-up and you have a Corona Kavach before the top-up, if let's say you get anything else, it could be an accident, it could be a COVID complication also which is not covered in Corona Kavach. In that case, the first 5 lakhs of the Corona Kavach won't be covered because Corona Kavach won't cover for a COVID complication, or it won't cover for an accident or anything else. So there you might be left in a bit of a lurch because your first 5 lakhs will only be covered for COVID and nothing else. But after that, yes, because you have a top up, everything else will be covered. But the first 5 lakhs will not be covered. So that might be a problem that you'll have to deal with. So there, I think it's a bit of a concern. But apart from that, I see no other problem with that.
We have one interesting question after we've spoken about top-ups and super top-ups. Omkar is asking whether to go for a top-up versus super top-up and how much in either case should be the base value. And he's 27 years old and has 10 lakh youngster policy from Star. Mumbai is his location.
Let me answer the second question first. You have a 10 lakh policy from Star. I think the simple recommendation is buy a 90 lakh rupees super top up. As I said, for me, for me and my wife and my child, it costed me only 1300 rupees. So it will be like half of that if you're buying it just for yourself. So for about 600-700 rupees, you can extend your coverage from 10 lakhs to 1 crore. So you should buy that. Now, the question that you asked is, and it's a bit technical, the difference between a top-up and a super top-up is actually very simple. Top-ups are now actually redundant. Nobody buys top-ups any longer. Only buy super top-ups, and I'll explain why. So every top-up or a super top-up policy has something called a deductible component. Deductible means, so again, let me explain to an example. Let's say if I have a 1 crore rupee top-up, this top-up has a 5 lakh deductible. What that means is 5 lakhs will not be paid by the insurance company. 5 lakhs will be paid will have to be paid by me or by some other policy. But after the first 5 lakhs, up to 1 crore rupees will be paid by the insurance company. So if let's say there's a 1 crore bill, then 95 lakhs will be paid by the insurance company, but the first 5 lakhs will have to be paid by me. What happens in a top-up is this concept of deductible applies to every bill. So which means let's say there is a bill of 1 crore rupee in January, then 5 lakhs will be paid by me and 1 crore will be paid by the insurance company. Let's say there is another 10 lakh rupees bill in March, then again first 5 lakhs will be paid by me and the next whatever amount is pending, that will be paid by the insurance company. So the deductible amount gets applied again and again and again on every claim. So it was very customer non-friendly because every time the payment was to be made by the customer. A super top-up basically means that this deductible is applied once in a policy year. So let's say we'll use the same example. Let's say if there's a 1 crore bill and the first 5 lakhs is paid by me and the rest of the amount is paid by the insurance company. Now all further bills will be paid in complete by the insurance company. The deductible won't apply for further claims. So from a coverage perspective, they are they are a lot better. And from a cost perspective, they're almost the same anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That's why what you would notice is top-ups are now redundant and nobody really sells top-ups, nobody really buys top-ups. Everybody only buys super top-ups now.
We have one more question, Amit, from Rushali. She says, can I claim for COVID treatment reimbursement after 4 months?
You can. There's nothing stopping you, and understandable that people had their reasons. People weren't well or they weren't at the hometown, etc., etc. So theoretically you can. However, it does come under a bit of a scrutiny from the insurance company if it's too delayed. So it's always advisable to do it sooner than later. That's always advisable. Ideally, you should be informing your insurance company the moment you get you initiate the process of claim, as in you initiate the process of treatment. Could be hospitalization, could be anything else. But
to the next question, just a quick reminder to all our viewers here, we are 5 minutes more into the show, and you can post in your queries. We'll take them up in the last 5 minutes, and in the Q&A section below. You can also mail us on the ID policybazaar@policybazaar.com. Alexander is the guy asking the question, and he's got from us. He's saying, I have already taken a policy from Star Health, which I have not renewed this year. Instead, I've taken a new policy from Star Health through Policy Bazaar, due to which I have lost the seniority of 5 years. Kindly advise me regarding this.
Couple of questions here. One, do you have any pre-existing diseases? Anything could be diabetes, hypertension, thyroid, anything. Because if you have that, then the waiting periods matter. If you don't have that, then waiting periods don't really matter that much. So you don't really lose much because of that. So I think that's one important question. The other thing is, typically instead of buying a new policy, it's always advisable to migrate or port. Understandable that you want to move into a better policy. That's something that a lot of people do. But in those cases, always advisable to migrate into a plan rather than buying a new plan upfront. Because when you're buying a new plan upfront, the waiting periods do apply from scratch. But again, it becomes very relevant in case you have some pre-existing disease or some history. If there is not much, then it's somewhere still okay, because there are no waiting periods as such, which are there for you.
Moving on to our next question. This is a little time sensitive. The person is Sharvana. He says, if the insured person gets affected to COVID on waiting period, will he be able to cover post-COVID treatment expenses? If so, how to proceed for that?
So that gets a bit grey. There are different insurers have a different view to this. In most cases, it is covered. So see, you won't be able to claim for COVID anyways, because the COVID happened during the waiting period. But if there's anything that happens, it is covered in most cases. So let's say, let me take an example here. If you have, let's say you bought a policy today, you have a 30-day COVID waiting period, and you get COVID after 5 days. So COVID won't be covered. But let's say if after 45 days now you've recovered from COVID, but now there's a COVID complication like a heart attack or black fungus or something, that will be covered in the health insurance policy.
Absolutely, it will be covered. And one final question that we'll be taking for the session today, and it's a very important question and relevant to the current times, given so many cases of COVID are left, right, center. It's from Avinash. He has to say, can I get to buy a term or health policy post-COVID?
You can. It does get a bit difficult, but you can. So for term insurance, there is a 3-month cooling off period which insurance companies do put, which means that you must have waited for at least 3 months before after you have after you have been infected with COVID. So that's part one. Under health insurance, it really differs by company. There are some companies which are okay after day one of recovering from COVID as well. In some cases, there is about a month of lag. In some cases, it's about a 6-month lag also. So again, different insurance companies have different ways of looking at it. But yes, there is some lag in almost all insurance companies. So always advisable, if you can buy it before you get COVID, that's always advisable. But if you have got COVID already, then also, you can get it, but yeah, it might just get a bit difficult. That's it.
So we come to the end of our session today, and hope we, the team at Policy Bazaar, have been able to resolve most of your queries. And still, if you have more queries, you can write them to us on the web ID I mentioned, policybazaarshow@policybazar.com. And thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll be coming up with our next session next Friday soon. So, and also please don't forget to fill on the survey once you end the session. Any feedback, more than welcome. We'll try and incorporate them. And any suggestions on any topics that you would want us to take in the next upcoming webinars, please feel free to pass them on. Thank you, everyone. Hope you
also,
like the session.
Apeksha, just to add one thing. I did see a query around a claim rejection that one of the viewers had posted in the Q&A. Please, if you can, please do share those details with us on policybazaarshow@policybazar.com. We will look into it, and I'm sure we'll solve it as well. Please do that. We're there to help you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you.